Hi, One Best PR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and right now we're going to look at the Big 12 in college basketball from an ATS perspective as of today, February 5th. The Big 12, of course, jam-packed with talent this year. Half the conference is ranked in the top 25 right now, and they also, of course, have the #1 ranked team in the country, Oklahoma. So in the Big 12, there's a lot of strength versus strength in conference play, and as you might expect, that has led to a lot of 50-50-ish ATS results overall, and a lot of very tight lines. And top-ranked Oklahoma has covered 3 of their last 4 games, but before that, they had lost 7 of 8 against the spread. So they're clearly not sneaking up on anyone right now and not likely to have reliable line value going forward, I think. They have been a solid over-trender, though, especially at home, and that's something that might continue into February. The 3 teams that have been doing notably well ATS-wise in the Big 12 recently are West Virginia, Texas, and Oklahoma State. And Texas has covered 5 in a row after being a bad bet to start the year, and those covers have come by a comfortable margin. So I'm looking for them to likely to continue to be profitable overall in February going forward. West Virginia and Oklahoma State, though, I'm not as confident will be able to hold their line value as well as I think Texas probably will be able to. Kansas and Baylor are 2 classic teams ranked in the top 25 that have not been good bets. They've both pretty clearly been overvalued recently, and they've been losing ATS. Kansas is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games after a 9-3 ATS start, and one of those covers was lucky. It was an OT cover as a 5.5-point favorite, and Baylor is 0-4-1 ATS over their last 5, including 2 straight-up losses as a favorite and another one as a favorite that went to OT. Kansas is coming off of a nice win and margin cover in their last game against Kansas State, but their ATS losses before that were by big margins. And Kansas, of course, is a team that can easily get overvalued and stay that way. So I'd be leaning towards looking to fade Kansas going forward. We'll see where the market prices them. Looking ahead to upcoming games in the Big 12, I do expect Texas to find a way to cover at least 3 of their next 5 games. If I had to single out one as maybe the most likely to have value, I think I'd pick the home game against Baylor on the 20th. They're playing top teams over their next 5, except for Texas Tech, but they do seem so undervalued right now that I think they're more likely than not to come out of that run with a positive ATS record. And also, Iowa State has, of course, been a good team this year and generally been a good road team, ATS, and they might have some betting value at Texas Tech on the 10th and then again at Baylor on the 16th. And then finally, TCU is looking pretty outclassed in the Big 12, and they've been a bad bet on the road this year. They're 1-6 ATS on the road. They did get a nice cover on the road as a big underdog against Kansas, but in their other conference road games, they lost pretty significantly ATS, and I'd look for them to be overvalued again on the road at West Virginia on the 13th and at Iowa State on the 20th. And that's a look at the Big 12 and college basketball for February 5th.